Greetings from Tokyo. This is Daisuke, and continuing with my discussion of the films of Akira Kurosawa as they appear in the Criterion Collection, now I would like to talk to you about the Criterion Collection Laserdiscs. So a number of his films, Kurosawa, appeared as Criterion Collection Laserdiscs back in the day. And it's a very interesting set of films, many of which appear later in the current DVD and Blu-ray catalog. But there's one interesting exception, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But let's go in order of spine number. So Criterion Collection Laserdisc spine number. So the first place we should go is this. Now, I should note that this does not have a spine number indicated on its spine, but it's generally understood to be spine number 11, whatever that's worth. So this is the CAV release of The Hidden Fortress. Now, this is the kind of a huge box set, if you will. And this is the first film by Kurosawa that appears in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc catalog. And it's very interesting because it's CAV, and I think, yes, there are no special features necessarily. At least as we understand it to mean nowadays, because of course now we understand that there are a lot of special features. But back in the day, remember that special features were somewhat of a novelty, so they weren't necessarily included in all releases. Still, to have a Kurosawa film in this deluxe release by the Criterion Collection back in the day as a Laserdisc was a really big deal. So, The Hidden Fortress, there we go. This is spine number 11. Next, spine number 49. This is Rashomon. So this is the single disc CLV release from the Criterion Collection Laserdisc catalog. The film is, as I've mentioned before, one of the key films, not only in Kurosawa's filmography, but in cinema in general. So to have this here is very interesting. It is CLV, so for whatever that's worth, but to have Rashomon is better than not to have it at all. So here we go. So Rashomon, this is spine number 49. Next, this is spine number 67. So this is the CAV box of the Seven Samurai, and this has the audio essay by Michael Jeck, and also has the film itself. So we have this epic film on this truly spectacular Criterion Collection Laserdisc release. Really one of the great releases from the Criterion Collection Laserdisc days, if I do say so myself. And let's go back here. So this is the CAV release, and then we have here the 2-disc CLV release. This also has the audio essay by Michael Jeck as well, so that's very interesting. Incidentally, this is spine number 67, and this is spine number 67A. Next is spine number 82. This is Redbeard, and look at that very interesting cover. So this is a CLV 2-disc release, and this is the back right here as well. Again, this is another example of a great presentation by Criterion, although it is CLV, so we're just getting the film presentation itself, so no special features. But still, to have the film Redbeard is better than to not have it at all. And this is another example of an early prime wonderful release by Criterion as a Laserdisc. Spine number 105. This is Yojimbo. This is also CLV release, so it's just one disc, two sides, and therefore no special features necessarily, but the film is, I think, its own special feature, if you know what I mean. It's enough to have the film, at least at this stage of Criterion's history. And this is, I just love this film so much that to have the Laserdisc is just a wonderful, it gives me a thrill every time. So here we go. This is Yojimbo. This is spine number, 105. Next, spine number 106. This is Throne of Blood. This is the CAV release. So it's two discs, four sides, but there are no special features, but it's just a film. But still, the quality is amazing for the release. So this is spine number 106. This is the first time it'll be appearing, but it will be appearing again in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc catalog. So we'll talk about that when we get there. Next is spine number 114. This is the release of Ikiru. This is CLV. So this is two discs, but three sides. No special features necessarily, but again, it's great to have this film. Criterion Collection. There we go. So this is Ikiru. A wonderful, wonderful Criterion Laserdisc. Next, we're going to jump to spine number 218. We have Sanjuro here. And so there are no special features except I think the last chapter is a color bars thing. So if you call that a special feature, I suppose. But here's the cover and here is the back right there. Very simple design, nothing too ornate, straightforward. And we have a famous still of a famous, or not a famous still, but a still from a famous scene in the film adorning the front cover. So very simple, straightforward, but again, a classic film, Sanjuro. Spine number 232. This is the second appearance of this film, The Hidden Fortress, in the collection. Remember, we saw The Hidden Fortress earlier in this form, right? So-called spine number 11, although it doesn't have its number indicated on the spine. But here it is again. This is spine number 232. Now, this is, yes, CLV. Yes, CLV, so two discs and three sides. So it's like this and this. So the presentation is quite different than the earlier Laserdisc in many ways. So make of that what you will. But still, it's an interesting, this is one of those interesting things about Criterion Laserdiscs. Sometimes you have one film appearing on two separate spine numbers. And this is one of those quirks of Criterion Collection Laserdisc cataloging that I think those of you who know Criterion Laserdisc, you know what I'm talking about. So perhaps I can talk about it in another video one day. But this is an example of that. So The Hidden Fortress appears twice in the Laserdisc catalog. Speaking of which, we have spine number 239. Again, we have another Throne of Blood. Here's a different cover. Please excuse this. This is just the plastic wrapping that's covering the thing itself. This sticker doesn't actually, it's not sticking on the cover itself, but it's on the plastic that's outside of the cover. So this is, let's see, here we go. If you recall, the earlier Throne of Blood release was here. So we have a completely different cover for this later release. And this is, I believe, CLV. Yes, CLV. So it's only a single disc, two sides, like so. The presentation is different, and the spine number is different. The cover is different. It's quite an interesting cover, if I do say so myself. Very interesting. Those are obviously the eyes of Mifune. So I think it would be a little bit better with this sticker not there. So I apologize for that, but I think you can get a sense of what the cover is, like so. So this is the second appearance of Throne of Blood. Spine number 256. Yes, this is the one that I'm talking about that's interesting. Dersu Uzala. First, please excuse this sticker here. This is not on the cover itself, but this is just on the plastic that I have on the cover here. I don't want to take this plastic off just for reasons of protection. Here's the front, and here is the back of Dersu Uzala. Now, this is a film from 1975. This is a film that Kurosawa made outside of Japan, and it is a stark, beautiful, warm and cold film. It is an epic of human nature and also of nature, and therefore it is one of those great films. It would be wonderful to have this film in the current DVD and Blu-ray collection, but for now it is on the Criterion Laserdisc. This is CLV. And oh boy, this is a film to watch. I think Criterion would do a beautiful job with this. And there have been rumors, I think, have there not? I'm not sure how reliable those rumors are, but I will keep my fingers crossed. And please, I urge you to do the same, because it would be great to have Dersu Uzala in the current collection. So. Until then, my friends, here is the Laserdisc. This is Spine number 256, the film from 1975. Yes. Next this is Spine number 291, Dodes'ka-den. Look at that cover. Isn't that a really rad cover? I love that cover. But this is the film again from 1970, and Kurosawa's first color film. Here's the front, and there's the back. So it has a nice little ragtag type of motif going on in terms of its visual flourishes. Really, this is a really nice CLV presentation. Nothing in terms of special features per se, but again we have the film itself. And again, in many ways, it's both an exploration of earlier themes, but also it's a radical departure in terms of Kurosawa's filmography. So, in that respect alone, it's very interesting and worthy of exploration. So here's Dodes'ka-den 291. Spine number 370. Here is Stray Dog CLV. 2 discs, 3 sides, and no special features necessarily, but still, look at that. Look at that. I love this cover, this retro-looking cover. If we remember, that's the DVD. It has a similar kind of motif, I think, but actually, dare I say it, maybe I prefer this slightly over the DVD release, which I still like, don't get me wrong, but there's something very cool and retro about this, and that is continued on in the back here. Very cool indeed. So there's Stray Dog. Next, Spine number 371. This is The Bad Sleep Well, and again, a different cover from the later DVD release. There's something about this Laserdisc cover, though, that really appeals to me. The shapes and all that. But let's look at the back here as well. The Bad Sleep Well. So this is also a CLV release. So there's nothing in terms of special features, but it's still wonderful to have. This is one of the last Laserdiscs, so this is a little bit rare, but if you can find it at a good price, I recommend you try to track it down, especially if you are a collector of the Laserdiscs. So, The Bad Sleep Well by Kurosawa, Spine number 371. And the last film that appeared by Kurosawa that appeared in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc catalog is Spine number 382. This is High and Low, and I think you can tell that this is almost identical with the DVD release cover art. So it has that same style and motif, but of course the area is a little bit different, so that accounts for slight differences in pictorial arrangement. Still, we have this here, and that's the back for those of you who are interested. So Spine number 382. This is also somewhat rare, not impossible to find. So it's not it shouldn't be one of those astronomically expensive items to track down, although it is a little bit difficult. At least it was when I was trying to hunt for it some years back. But who knows? I don't know what the state of the market is today directly, but if you're interested, maybe it might be worth checking out laserdiscdatabase.com or something. There might be some sellers there. But in any event, this is one of the last Kurosawa films. No, I'm sorry. This is the last Kurosawa film that appears in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc catalog. And also, it is one of the last Criterion Collection Laserdiscs, because very soon after this, the Criterion Collection Laserdiscs were stopped in terms of their production and manufacture. So this is therefore one of the later and perhaps a little bit rarer items in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc in terms of collecting. So, but it's a very interesting release, and it mirrors, in essence, the DVD release, because they were pretty much concurrent. So this is the state of Kurosawa films in the Criterion Collection Laserdisc catalog. So I hope you found that interesting. And in the next video, I will talk about yet another aspect of Kurosawa's work as they appear in the Criterion Collection. So I hope to see you then. In the meantime, my friends, cheers.